Imagine you want to buy a new car. You see a foreign-made car you like. It's cheaper than the American-made car, but then the government puts a tariff on that foreign car. A tariff is a tax on imported goods. This makes the foreign car more expensive. Tariffs are designed to protect domestic industries. They make foreign goods more expensive. This encourages consumers to buy products made at home. The goal is to help American businesses compete. Tariffs have been used throughout history. They are a tool used by governments to influence trade. They can have both positive and negative effects on the economy. One of the main arguments for tariffs is that they level the playing field. By imposing tariffs, governments aim to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. This is particularly important in sectors where the cost of production is significantly higher domestically than it is abroad. Without tariffs, local businesses might struggle to survive against cheaper imports, leading to job losses and economic decline in certain industries. When foreign goods are cheaper, it can be difficult for American businesses to compete. This is especially true in industries like manufacturing, where labor costs and production efficiencies vary greatly from country to country. American companies often face higher wages and stricter regulations, which can increase their costs. As a result, they may find it challenging to offer products at prices that can compete with those of foreign manufacturers. Tariffs can help to close the price gap. By adding a tax to imported goods, tariffs increase the cost of these goods, making them less attractive to consumers compared to domestically produced items. This can encourage consumers to buy local products, thereby supporting domestic industries and preserving jobs. This can protect American jobs and businesses. When local companies are able to compete more effectively, they can maintain or even expand their workforce. This not only benefits the employees but also has a positive ripple effect on the local economy, as more people with jobs means more spending power and economic activity. For example, let's say that a foreign country can produce steel much cheaper than the United States. This could be due to a variety of factors such as lower labor costs, more efficient production techniques, or even government subsidies that reduce the overall cost of production. This is due to lower labor costs or government subsidies. These advantages allow foreign producers to sell their steel at a lower price than American companies can afford to match. Without some form of protection, American steel manufacturers might be forced out of business, leading to significant job losses and economic disruption. As a result, American steel companies struggle to compete. They may have to cut costs, lay off workers, or even shut down operations entirely. This not only affects the workers directly involved, but also has a broader impact on the communities that rely on these industries for their economic well-being. A tariff on imported steel would make the foreign steel more expensive. By increasing the cost of imported steel, tariffs can make American-produced steel more competitive in the market. This can help to ensure that domestic steel manufacturers remain viable and can continue to provide jobs and contribute to the economy. This would make American steel more competitive. With a more level playing field, American companies can better compete on price, which can lead to increased sales and production. This, in turn, can help to secure jobs and promote economic stability within the industry. However, tariffs can also have unintended consequences. While they may protect certain industries, they can also lead to higher prices for consumers. When the cost of imported goods goes up, consumers often have to pay more for everyday items, which can strain household budgets and reduce overall spending. They can lead to higher prices for consumers. This is because businesses that rely on imported materials may pass on the increased costs to their customers. Additionally, tariffs can contribute to inflation, making it more expensive to buy a wide range of goods and services. They can also make it harder for American companies to compete globally. When other countries retaliate with their own tariffs, it can create barriers to international trade. This can hurt American exporters, who may find it more difficult to sell their products abroad, ultimately impacting their growth and profitability. The United States has run a trade deficit for decades. This means that we import more goods than we export. In 1995, the trade deficit was $100 billion. By 2024, it had ballooned to $918 billion. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, has warned about the dangers of a large trade deficit. He argues that it allows foreign countries to accumulate U.S. assets. These assets include stocks, bonds, and real estate. This gives them a claim on future American wealth. Buffett first expressed his concerns about the trade deficit in 2003. He has reiterated them several times since then. He believes that the trade deficit is a serious problem that needs to be addressed. Cheaper imports have led to job losses in the United States. As foreign goods have become more affordable, American companies have moved production overseas. This has resulted in factory closures and layoffs. The decline of the auto industry in Detroit is a prime example. In 1950, Detroit had a population of 1.85 million. Today, it is less than 600,000. The decline of the auto industry is a major factor in Detroit's decline. In 1979, the United States had nearly 20 million manufacturing jobs. By 2025, that number had fallen to 12 million. This decline is due in part to cheaper imports. Section 5. The price of protection. While tariffs are intended to protect American jobs and businesses, they can also have negative consequences for consumers. The idea behind tariffs is to make imported goods more expensive, thereby encouraging consumers to buy domestically produced items. This, in theory, should help local businesses thrive and preserve jobs within the country. However, when tariffs are imposed on imported goods, the cost of those goods goes up. This increase in cost doesn't just affect the importers, it trickles down to the consumers who end up paying more for everyday items. This can lead to higher prices for consumers. For instance, the price tags on various products in stores may reflect these increased costs, making it more expensive for families to purchase the goods they need. For example, if a tariff is placed on imported steel, the cost of cars, appliances, and other goods that use steel will increase. This is because manufacturers who rely on steel as a raw material will face higher production costs. This is because American companies that use steel will have to pay more for their raw materials. These companies in turn will pass on the increased costs to consumers, leading to higher prices for a wide range of products. These higher costs will be passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. This means that everyday items, from groceries to electronics, could become more expensive, putting a strain on household budgets. Tariffs can also create uncertainty for businesses. When companies are unsure about future trade policies, they may hesitate to make significant investments or expand their operations. When businesses are uncertain about the future of trade policy, they may be less likely to invest and expand. This hesitation can lead to reduced economic activity and fewer job opportunities. This can slow down economic growth. In the long run, the very measures intended to protect the economy can end up stifling it, leading to a cycle of reduced consumer spending, lower business investment, and slower overall economic progress. Section 6. Warren Buffett, a voice of caution and optimism. Despite his concerns about the trade deficit, Warren Buffett remains optimistic about the American economy. He has repeatedly said that the United States is the best place to invest. He believes in the ingenuity and resilience of the American people. Buffett's investment philosophy is based on finding undervalued companies with strong long-term prospects. He is not afraid to invest in companies that are facing short-term challenges. He believes that over the long term, the American economy will continue to grow. Buffett's optimism is a reminder that despite the challenges facing the American economy, there are also many reasons for hope. Section 7. Tariffs as an act of war. In a 2025 interview, Warren Buffett surprised many by stating that tariffs are an act of war to some degree. He went on to explain that while they may seem like a purely economic tool, they inevitably raise tensions between countries and can easily escalate into more serious conflicts. Buffett's choice of language highlights the potential dangers of using tariffs as a primary means of protecting domestic industries. While they might offer short-term benefits, the long-term risks to global stability and cooperation need to be carefully considered. This statement sparked debate among economists and policymakers. Some argued that Buffett was being alarmist, while others agreed that tariffs could have unintended consequences. Section 8. The claim check analogy. To explain his concerns about trade deficits, Warren Buffett often uses the analogy of claim checks. This analogy is a powerful tool to help people understand the complexities of international trade and its impact on the economy. Buffett's straightforward yet profound explanation makes it easier for the average person to grasp the potential dangers of a trade deficit. He points out that when the U.S. consistently imports more than it exports, it essentially gives foreign countries claim checks in the form of U.S. dollars. These claim checks represent a promise that can be redeemed for American goods, services, or assets in the future. The more claim checks that are issued, the more foreign entities can claim ownership of U.S. resources. These dollars can then be used to purchase U.S. assets, such as companies, real estate, and government debt. This means that foreign investors can buy significant portions of American businesses, properties, and even influence government policies through the purchase of debt. The influx of foreign capital might seem beneficial in the short term, but it can lead to long-term economic vulnerabilities. In essence, Buffett argues that large and persistent trade deficits are like giving away ownership of the U.S. economy piece by piece. As more claim checks are cashed in, more American assets are transferred to foreign ownership. This gradual transfer of ownership can erode the economic sovereignty of the nation, making it increasingly dependent on foreign interests. This analogy vividly illustrates the potential long-term consequences of unchecked trade imbalances. It serves as a warning that the current trajectory of trade policies could lead to a future where the U.S. has less control over its own economic destiny. Factories may shut down, jobs may be lost, and the overall economic landscape could be altered significantly. It suggests that while the immediate impact of a trade deficit might seem manageable, over time it could lead to a situation where a significant portion of the U.S. economy is owned by foreign entities. This shift in ownership can have profound implications for national security, economic stability, and the ability to make independent policy decisions. Buffett's claim check analogy is a call to action, urging policymakers and the public to reconsider the long-term effects of trade imbalances and to strive for a more balanced and sustainable approach to international trade. Section 9. The future of the American economy. The debate over tariffs, trade deficits, and their impact on the American economy is likely to continue. There are valid arguments to be made on both sides of the issue. Ultimately, the best course of action for the United States will depend on a variety of factors. These factors include the global economic climate, the actions of our trading partners, and the priorities of American policymakers. Despite the challenges, Warren Buffett's enduring optimism about the American economy offers a valuable perspective. His belief in American innovation and resilience suggests that the United States has the capacity to adapt and thrive in a changing global landscape.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.